You're listening to the Snob OS Podcast, the podcast for Apple snobs. Yo, this is Terrance Gaines, aka Brother Tech.
And this is Nica Montford, aka Tech Savvy Diva.
And welcome back to the Snob OS Show, the show for Apple snobs, where we talk all things Apple and then some. We want to welcome you back to another episode of our show. This is episode 323 of the Snob OS Show. So as per usual, we want to thank everybody for listening thus far. Again, if you want to listen to the show, please go to Apple Podcasts, go to Spotify, and go to YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. But we're trying to let folks know to go to those three first because we need the support. So we definitely thank you for your continued support. Again, if you want to become a Patreon supporter to get the exclusive content that you'll hear at the end of this show, you got to go to snoboscast.com/Patreon. Or in reverse, you can go to patreon.com/snoboscast. Either way works, but you will become a snobist member and you'll get the exclusive content that you will not hear on this show. So having said all that, we're going to get into this show and we're going to start with a lowdown where we're going to talk about Apple dropping Intel Macs from Tahoe finally. We're going to talk about Apple announcing a new Apple Care subscription for multiple devices. We're going to talk about cops, of all people, stealing Apple products. For a second string, where we talk all things tech, we're going to get into lazy lawyers and judges are getting in trouble with AI. And for the culture, we're going to, of course, we are not going to miss the opportunity to join in with the rest of Earth, who are talking about this Coldplay couple. And we're going to get into the hookup. So without further ado, let's get into the show. Like I mentioned, we always start off with the lowdown. And like I mentioned, Apple is dropping some Macs from the latest version of macOS Tahoe. And they're just a handful of Intel Macs that'll actually be able to stay on after macOS Tahoe. So the list of devices that are getting dropped is much bigger than the amount of devices that they're keeping. So I'm going to roll through and talk about the Intel devices that's going to stay for now, because eventually Apple is going to move off of Intel altogether because they really don't want to create a macOS for Apple Silicon, and they don't want to make go through the effort to make a Mac OS for Intel Macs as well. So these are the four Intel Macs that will stay on for Mac OS Tahoe. There's a 13-inch MacBook Pro from 2020 with the 4 Thunderbolt ports, the 16-inch MacBook Pro from 2019, the 27-inch iMac from 2020, and the Mac Pro from 2019. Now, all of these devices are still going to get the security updates, but my guess, and this is what I'm guessing, because the reason why Apple wants to finally kick all of the Intel devices off of stop programming for them at all is because of this liquid glass interface that was previewed during WWDC, to where you kind of see that mirror, that the translucent background that gives you just enough information to see behind it, but it still surfaces the, settings, the options, and things of that nature. What do you think, Nica? What do you think the reason why Apple is finally dropping all these Intels from macOS?
I think they are finally trying to coalesce everything around all things in-house Apple. Intel, was and still is for non-Macs the primary chip maker for most personal laptops. And Apple has been trying to have as few external vendors, if that's what you want to call them, in their products and build as much as they can in-house. And I think this is just the next iteration of that. And probably once we're on iOS 2017 or maybe even push out to 2018, there won't be any macOS updates for any MacBook or Mac laptop product or Mac computing product that is not on Apple Silicon. And that way they can just keep doing their security updates because they want to still support the older laptops that they have and keep people's machines safe. But as far as getting um, the new OSs, it just isn't feasible because, as you mentioned, Liquid Glass has been getting a lot of um, interest, and I'm sure with the ramping up of Apple Intelligence, the potential Siri update, it's going to be some things that the Intel chip isn't. It's just not going to be able to process. Where Apple is likely going in the future with their operating system. So it makes sense, these older machines aren't going to be able to keep up. They aren't going to have the computing power to power a lot of these features. So just roll them on off.
Yep, and it looks like I mentioned, Apple will stick to its usual pattern by offering security updates until the fall of 2028. So you got what, 2 more years
Yeah.
for before all the Macs will be gone from Apple's inventory.
Yep.
All right, moving on to the next story. Like I mentioned, there's a new Apple Care product. It's a subscription service called Apple One, and basically it offers same stuff that you think of with Apple Care, that you can turn in your device if it's damaged, water, if it's cracked, things of that nature. But with this one, this is a subscription service for $20 a month. Apple One will let you cover up to 3 products that are up to 4 years old. So remember when you normally buy an Apple product and you look in the settings and they're
Mm-hmm.
always trying to promote Apple Plus, and
Mm-hmm.
they'll tell you you've got 30 days and you've got 20 days and you've got 10 days and now you
Mm-hmm.
got 5 days. Well, with this new Apple One, not only can you do up to 4 devices, you can get older devices. So if you've got an older pair of AirPods, if you've got an old, any sort of Apple peripherals, Apple branded peripherals, right?
Mm-hmm.
In addition to covering MacBooks, iMacs, iPads,
Mm-hmm.
iPhones, you can actually cover other devices. And again, you can also add products, like I mentioned, up to 4 years old to your plan. But this is a $20 a month subscription service. So my question to you is, will people actually use this?
I think people are in subscription fatigue because everything is a freaking subscription service. But I think what Apple has done here, they've kind of sweetened the deal. So it's not just, on, your new products when you're, getting your Apple Care, you buy a new iPhone, get Apple Care, you buy new AirPods, Apple Care. They are kind of consolidating um, this subscription service to pay one fee instead of having to have Apple Care for each individual device or pay for each Apple Care for each individual the price. They're saying, hey, we're going to give you this subscription service. You can put more than one device on it. It's only going to be $20, but it is subscription based and not, say paying the one time fee. And I think that may be attractive to people, even though they're over this kind of subscription thing, but I think they made it a little bit more attractive than your regular subscription service. So, I mean, I get where they're going, but again, I'm over subscriptions. Like, stop, please,
Yeah,
stop.
I think most people are done. Well, I don't know. I'm done for the most part with subscription services. I just cut off HBO Max because it's like, on one hand, it's like, yeah, I want to watch House of Dragon, and yeah, I
Mhm,
want to watch John Oliver, and yeah, I may want to watch some DC animated movies, which I've
mhm.
been on a bend of recently. Side note, tangent. We always talk about Marvel and their cinematic universe and the
Mhm,
Marvel movies and the Marvel movies. And you see
mhm.
DC Comics movies. We're like the DC cinematic universe. And we're like, meh. They keep
Mhm.
rebooting Superman. They keep rebooting Batman. How many times you gonna keep rebooting
Yeah,
Superman and Batman? And every once in a while you throw in a Wonder Woman, and every once in a while you throw in an Aquaman.
yeah.
On the flip side, if you want to watch some good animated movies, go and watch DC animated movies. They have been for the longest the top when it comes to animated superhero movies. So, with the exception of like the new stuff like Invincible and some of these other ones that's coming out recent, but
Hmm.
like a long catalog, check out DC animated movies, and I watch them on HBO Max. But again, my whole point, I'm done.
No more.
I'm done with it because it's just like you're killing me with all these
Killing
subscriptions, killing me.
Another tangent. I was logging into my banking app and they have this new feature that shows you the total amount that you
Hmm.
spend annually on subscription services. Um, and it's jarring when I saw the annual amount that I pay a year for recurring like subscription services. I almost fell out. I was like, "Oh my god, are you serious?" And I was like, "I need to get my life together because this is way too much. Way too much."
Yeah, right. Yeah. And there's a commercial. I don't know if it's on YouTube. I don't know if it's on Instagram.
Uh,
But this dude says, "Do you know how much you pay a month in subscriptions?" And I think they're promoting some app or something like that. But
mm,
like, that ain't like a stunt just to sell this subscription. You actually walk up on somebody and say, "Hey, how much you paying a month in subscriptions?" They think they know, and then if you actually sat down, because one day I did it, I went and said, okay, this and this and this, and then I was like, oh, this is too much. This goes
yeah,
back to the whole point of streaming. The whole point of getting away from this was because of cable subscription.
the
Now,
expensive cable fee.
yeah, exactly.
Now it's almost cheaper to have regular cable.
Absolutely. So, but again, we ain't putting the toothpaste back in that tube.
Nope, not at all.
All right. Moving on to the last story of the lowdown. Like I mentioned, cops of all people have got caught red-handed stealing Apple products. A Dallas police officer turned himself in. Now you know it's bad.
Well, you got to turn yourself in.
You know it's bad when a police officer turned himself in. It's bad. You are caught, sir.
There's no coming back for you,
Right.
friend.
A Dallas police officer turned himself in earlier this month after Dallas Police Department issued a warrant. Your own people issued a warrant for your arrest.
The ops got ops.
Like I said, sometimes it be your own people.
Your own people.
Yep, the Dallas Police Department issued a warrant for his arrest for theft of property between $30,000 and
Oh my
$150,000
god.
of stolen products. So basically, what this dude did was he wasn't working as a police officer when he was doing this. What he was doing was he was hired, as an off-duty security
Security guy.
overnight. Yeah, overnight, security guard.
Mhm.
So basically, what he did was he was like, "Oh, I'm in here by myself." So what he would do is before his shift would come in, he would bring in all these empty duffel bags.
Okay.
And then what he would do is while he thought nobody was looking, he would fill up these duffel bags and pretend like, this is official police business. And the only reason why they caught him because he was so egregious. When the Apple store noticed the discrepancy in the amount of products sold versus the inventory that they had, they're like, yo, something's up. They look at the security cameras, they see your boy. I mean, he was so bold with it that there was stuff that he couldn't reach. So he would get like the little
The
grabber
grabber
picker thing
that old people use at the grocery store.
and reach up there, like think of clothing stores when you going to get something at the
Oh, the
top. They got,
hook.
yes, he would be in there in the store in the middle of the night trying to grab stuff off the top shelf. And like I mentioned, he stole upwards to $150,000, which makes it a third degree felony. Now, of course, according to the Dallas Police Department, he has been with the department since 2013. He has been placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of an internal investigation. I don't know what internal investigation you got to do, but if y'all caught this dude red-handed, personal shopping in the middle of the night on camera, what internal investigation you got to do?
What I'm trying to figure out is how was this guy not smart?
Right.
Do you not you're a
The police
cop.
officer, rather.
You know that they have cameras, right? Do
Hmm.
they think they were just gonna let him just steal this much stuff and not say anything because he was a police officer? Is that
I
That's just
don't. I
I
don't
can't wrap
know.
my mind around the logic because the logic is not logicking.
I don't know. I don't know if this is, if this holds or not, but my all-time saying is absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I think this dude just assumed that nobody would ever suspect the security guard bringing empty backpacks and duffel bags to his shifts and leaving with them seemingly full. Upon this discovery, the stores installed covert cameras which captured this dude stealing merchandise on multiple occasions. It wasn't like a one-time
One
hit.
time, just got greedy.
It just got greedy. I would have got a couple laptops, I would have got a couple iPads, I'd got a couple iPhones, and that would have been it. I'd be like, hey, I quit. I don't want to do this job no more. I'm looking for another challenge. And then makes matters worse. Let me give you the rest of it.
Mm, mm,
The
mm.
Dallas Morning News reported that the guy and his wife were detained and interviewed by the FBI at DFW International Airport in late April while a federal search warrant was executed on their home in Dallas because screenshots of the dude's wife Facebook Marketplace, which appeared to show her selling Apple products on the site. So they couldn't even, she was doing
Sorry.
it under her name, selling the stuff on Apple
Not even a
Facebook Market.
fake Facebook account. These people are not smart. Oh my God. Now you got your wife in this.
Now both of y'all hemmed up.
Y'all are not, these people are not smart. I'm sorry. They are, I hate to say stupid, but these people are stupid.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. But
Bad
anyway,
boys got caught.
I guess. So,
Mm,
the
mm,
cops recently, there's another story. Side note, tangent.
mm.
There's, the cop pulling this guy over. And the guy's like, what are you pulling me over for? And he's like, well, the cop says, well, um, your daytime headlights are not on in inclement weather. And the dude was like, that's why you pulling me over. So all that to say, I think people have figured out that cops are using intimidation tactics
Mhm.
and on the guise of I'm just, following
Law and
law.
order.
Yeah, just I'm this the law. It's like, oh, you turned on your turn signal too late before you turn. It's like, really? That you supposed to be protecting and serving, but you felt like that was egregious enough for you to pull me over. And I think they do it is because in the past, prior to smartphones, prior to going live, prior to virality, the
Mhm.
cops would be able to use these intimidation tactics
Yeah.
and people would comply.
Yeah.
People ain't complying no more, and these
Nope.
cops don't know what to do. They do not know what they don't know how to handle somebody telling them no. But anyway,
And they don't know how to stop doing illegal shit. I mean, come on.
apparently,
It's that simple.
apparently.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. All
Oh,
right. So that's enough. That's enough of that. We're going to move into second string where we talk technology in general. And this is something that hit a little close to home to us in Atlanta. Um, I've titled it Lazy Lawyers and Judges Are Getting in Trouble with AI. So basically, what's happening is
okay.
we already know that AI is creeping into everything. It's creeping into our jobs, it's creeping into our daily lives. But I would assume anyway, that the court would be one of the places to where technology wouldn't be able to get in so fast.
Mm,
Boy, was I wrong because it looks like lawyers and judges are using AI to do their jobs for them, and it is failing because it's AI. It ain't perfect. It's hallucinating, is giving fake information. But it seems like the lawyers and the judges, which our freedom is in their hands, and they messing around with AI. It's like, AI will do it. So let me read this story, right?
okay.
Fueling nightmares that AI soon decide legal battles, which is crazy. Let me say that again.
Crazy.
AI will soon decide legal battles. A Georgia Court of Appeals judge, Jeff Watkins, explained why a three-judge panel vacated an order last month that appears to be the first known ruling in which a judge sided with someone seemingly relying on fake AI generated case citations to win a legal fight. So let me break it down. These two people are getting divorced, right?
Mhm.
The lawyer for the husband who was divorcing his wife
Mm-hmm.
used AI to come up with these court cases to prove their case. You know, they say, hey, judge, based on Gaines versus Montford,
Mm-hmm.
uh, 1992, it said that blah, 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 right? So they're
Mm-hmm.
using these court cases as precedent for their thing, right? Instead of them going to look it up themselves, they're saying, AI, find me a court case that proves my point. AI hallucinates, gives them a fake, gives them a fake cases. The the lawyer presents it to the judge, and the judge didn't do his checks and took it as these cases are legit.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, this sense is legit. Therefore, I'm ruling in your favor. And then actually he provides his ruling.
Mm-hmm.
The only way they caught it was the wife's lawyer looked into it, found out that the cases was fake, resubmitted the information, and not only did the lawyer for the husband had again vacated the order according to the 3-judge panel,
Mm-hmm.
he got fined like $3,500. But the problem with this is it's just they just flippantly used AI
Mm-hmm.
for their court case that involved people's lives. Now, again, this is a divorce, but imagine if somebody is up
A
on
murder case.
manslaughter or murder or rape or a sexual assault or theft or whatever that could put them in jail for 25 to life. And y'all messing around with AI, it's bananas. It's bananas.
So there are several points of failure in this whole thing. Okay, it's everybody's using AI, everybody's using these chatbots. Fine. But as a lawyer, as someone who's gone to law school, who passed the bar, you check your references, you check your sites. So one, the lawyer didn't check that he asked AI, which is fine, but he didn't check the validity of the cases that AI gave him. He said, "Ooh, we got one." So we're gonna
Mm-hmm,
put it in there. Not gonna do even if you're asking these things to do the work for you. The
mm-hmm.
least you could do is a quick Google search
Right.
or go over to because what is it called? Case law or Westlaw? It's
I'm
whatever
pretty
this
sure
huge.
there's some sort of
Yeah,
something.
they have a huge like a database that they go up and look cases stuff in. All this stuff is online. So he didn't check and he submitted to the court. And then the court, the judge, didn't check these cases either. He just went on what old boy was saying. So it's one of those things where had the wife's attorney not done his checks, they just be SOL. And if you're doing this, if you think about this in the context of a criminal case where you have the prosecution and you have defense. If you have, say, a person who is using a public defender, we
Mm-hmm,
all know that public defenders are underpaid and
mm-hmm,
overworked.
mm-hmm.
What if they aren't able or don't have the time or have other cases that they're doing that they can't devote time to going through every single case law to make sure that it's accurate. And it's one of those things where this is a very slippery slope. And this is one of the things why we know how slow our government moves,
Mm-hmm.
but people are now trying to, I've said this 1,000 times, people are now trying to put guardrails on AI and the ship has sailed. It's
Mm-hmm.
too late. The
Yep.
train is 1,000 miles down the track and the guardrails are at mile one. The
Yep.
train's already gone. So
Yep.
you can put
Yep.
the guardrails behind the train, but the train's gone. It
Yep.
may help the next train that comes through, but what about the trains that have missed it? So it's one of those things where that's why I think AI ethics is so important. I know in grad school there was an AI ethics course that I really enjoyed. It was taught by um, a black female professor. She's now the dean of engineering, I think, at Ohio State. I really loved her. She was a great professor. But it's one of those things where when you go through and look at all the different ways that you're having to put AI in society and the ethical ramifications behind it. And, it's only so much you can cover in a semester. Even though we covered a lot, it's one of those things where when you look at it, it's like, oh my God, this thing can go so bad for so many people.
So
And once
fast.
you put somebody in jail, it's hard to get them out, right?
It
It's
ain't. It
so
ain't.
hard to get them out. And
Yeah. It ain't.
if
It
we
ain't
give
just
it to
some.
men,
Oh,
we're not
our
gonna get them
bad.
out.
Yeah.
It's
So yeah, let me
crazy.
give you. Yeah, let me give you a little bit more information about this story, right? Because it not blood boil, but it's just like, come on, y'all. The recently vacated order came in a Georgia divorce dispute where Watkins explained that the order itself was drafted by the husband's lawyer. The order itself, like judge said, we find in the case of the plaintiff, da da da, because da da da
So the
da.
judge
That
didn't even draft this.
no.
Oh my
They so let me explain that the order itself was drafted by the husband's lawyer, Diana Lynch. That's a common practice in many courts where overburdened judges historically rely on the lawyers to draft orders. That sounds
wait,
crazy to me.
wait. Am I understanding? So you have the two lawyers, the wife's
Hmm.
lawyer and the husband's lawyer.
Hmm.
The husband lawyer got these fake AI cases
Hmm.
and present them to the judge,
Hmm.
and the judge said, "Okay, I agree with you." But the
Hmm.
judge didn't even write it up. He told the guy who gave him the fake information to write up the final order for it.
I
Is that
guess. I
right?
mean, I'm not a lawyer, but that's what it sounds like to me. So let me keep reading. It says, but that protocol today faces heightened scrutiny as lawyers and non-lawyers increasingly rely on AI to compose and research legal filings, and judges risk rubber stamping fake opinions by not
Mm.
carefully scrutinizing AI generated citations. The errant order partially relied on two fictitious cases to deny the wife's petition, which Watkins suggested were possibly hallucinations made up by generative artificial intelligence, as well as two cases that had, quote, nothing to do with the wife's petition. So not
Mm.
only was it wrong, it ain't have nothing to do with the petition at all. And this judge, I'm assuming in my mind, I picture this super old judge that's probably been in court longer than I've been alive.
And this is Georgia.
And it's Georgia. They was like, yo,
Take that
bet.
how you will, but this is Georgia.
Right, bet. AI is gonna make it. I don't have to do all this work, and I'm old. Bet. So now you hemmed up, and like I mentioned, Lynch, which is the lawyer for the husband, was hit with a $2,500 in sanctions after the wife appealed, and the husband's response. Get this, which also appeared to be prepared by Lynch, cited 11 additional cases that were either hallucinated or irrelevant. Watkins was further peeved that Lynch supported a request for attorney's fees for the appeal by the citing one of the new hallucinated cases, writing added insult to injury. So now the lady had to appeal and the courts wouldn't even pay her court cases to appeal because they was wrong.
I
Crazy.
I I'm truly at a loss for words because this is happening in a divorce case,
Hmm.
which is bad enough.
Right.
But just the fact that you messed up,
Right.
it's it's been recorded that you messed up, and
Right.
you still don't want to acknowledge your mess up, and you
Come on.
still don't want to fix. So this lady's already having to pay this lawyer, so she had to
Hmm.
pay him again
Yep.
to do this appeal.
Yep.
And they had to do this appeal because the other side was just making stuff up. And
Yep.
the courts was just like, okay. I mean, I know we are a sue happy country, but I'd sue that lawyer. I'd sue the state of Georgia. I'd sue that judge personally
Yep.
because
Yep.
this is insane. Somebody's got to recoup my time and my money because this, uh, what are you doing? What are you doing, friend?
Yep. And there's no, like you mentioned, there's no recourse for the judges. There's no recourse for the lawyer outside of that $2,500 sanction. But let me read a little bit more. It said, worryingly, the judge could not confirm whether the fake cases were generated by AI or even determine if Lynch herself inserted the bogus cases into the court filings, indicating how hard it can be for courts to hold lawyers accountable for suspected AI hallucinations. Lynch did not respond. This is the lawyer for the husband. Lynch did not respond to requests for comment, and her
How very
website
did it?
Right. And her website appeared to be taken down following media attention to the case. So while you can't get come at them via the law, via why you can't sue, maybe it's hard to sue them. You
I'd
know,
go
it's
for her
hard.
license because that's
Well,
obvious negligence.
what I was going to say was the two things that motivate people to me is fear and shame. You may not be able to get them in their pockets, but since we're talking about it on our show, I'm pretty sure a lot of other people talked about it on their shows. It was probably covered in the news. And as a result, they felt bad enough that this lawyer is out here faking the funk and had to take
Right.
their website down. So again, that ain't necessarily, a win, but at the same time, if you mess up and you get caught, oh, the internet ain't gonna let you sleep. We'll
Right.
talk about that a little bit later.
Just like we're about to see.
All right, so I think that's going to do it for second string. We're going to move into for the culture, and like I mentioned, talk about getting caught in the social media shaming you to death. Right? I titled this "Some Poor Coldplay Couple." Now, again, I don't think I got to give you the backstory or the context. We all know. I think
Even the
all
people who aren't online know this.
all of everybody on Earth
Yeah.
came together in unison, and I mean,
We finally agreed on something.
ah, dog. I mean, I could not scroll 3 times before seeing some interpretation, some spin on this Coldplay couple who
Some
got caught.
spoof.
Yep, some spoof. I mean, these people are creative.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many. I'm like, I'm sending memes and stories back and forth with my wife. And
Uh-huh.
this is like, send her this one. Aha, send her this one. Send her this one. It was mind-boggling how this was the news over the
We needed
weekend.
something to come together on.
Right,
We're struggling here.
right.
And
And that's
this is it. This is our come to Jesus, come together.
right.
Let's all be the same.
Right. And fortunately, unfortunately,
Mm.
this couple who worked together, a subordinate and the CEO, got caught red-handed at a Coldplay concert. Now, I don't know if there's any validity to the original press release I saw. I think some people are saying that was made up, but there was a press release accordingly by the allegedly by the CEO.
I think it was fake. I think I saw that
Okay.
someone said it was fake.
Okay. So, event fast forward today, the wife allegedly
Which
changed her
wife?
last the wife of the CEO
Okay.
changed her removed her last name from Facebook. We don't know outside of that, we don't know what sort of marital issues they're having, but the CEO has been removed from his position
Hmm.
because, of course, again, like I mentioned, shame. We shamed that company and that CEO so bad.
And he's a co-founder. So
Right.
you know how hard that is?
That's bad when the internet can can convince the board or the shareholders
It
or the
was the
stakeholder
board.
of the board was like, "Hey man, look, under normal circumstances, we would probably just let this die and we'd just wait for it to blow over. We'd
Mhm.
send you, you're gonna take a leave of absence, you're gonna go find yourself in the
You're gonna go
waters
to
of Lake,
rehab,
you're gonna go,
something.
you're gonna purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka, something. And then you're gonna come back and it's gonna be business as usual. It was so bad to where it was like, man, we got to get you up out of here, dog.
You
We
gotta
got
go,
to.
bro.
We
You got to
got
get out of
to.
here. It's
Now,
so
go ahead.
funny. No, it's
Yeah.
just like it's just so funny. I know you talked about the CEO and his wife relationship. You
Hmm.
know how rumors get to be. They found that lady's Facebook page
Hmm.
and was posting the video on there, and people, that's why I think they said she
So
removed her
people
name
couldn't find her.
so people couldn't find her. I don't
Hmm.
think she changed it because of the cheating husband. I think she
Oh,
changed so people couldn't find her because people were like, you shouldn't
did
be
you see this?
posting this on
Did
her
you see this?
Facebook page.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah. But I was gonna say they're posting on our website. Did you see this? Did you see this? And tagging her
Yeah.
probably
And then
50
people were
million
like,
thousand
she
times.
deserves to know. Because people were like, you shouldn't be doing this. This is probably her. They were like, no, she needs to know.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, which is impossible for her not to know. So that was a
Yeah.
bridge too far. But
And someone said it's a rumor. Don't know how true it is. But someone saying that this wife that he has now is a second wife.
ooh,
And he cheated on his first wife with her
Oh,
and
well,
married her.
well, I mean, how you get them is
If
how you
that's
lose them.
true, then exactly.
But what I wanted to get your opinion on is,
Mhm.
again, this guy was a CEO. You know, he was the leader of the company. He was, you know, for all intents and purposes, sleeping with an subordinate, and there's whole sort of
Even though she
power
was an
dynamics.
executive as well, she
Right.
still
Right. There's a whole power dynamic thing, which
yeah.
is the main reason why, as a manager, as a leader, as a team lead, you do not fraternize with your subordinates. Now, if you want to find
Especially the
some,
HR lady.
especially the HR lady. So, what I wanted to bring to your attention,
Mhm,
though, is and get your opinion on
mhm.
is this dude. I mean, they dragged this dude. I
Drag.
ain't heard too much about the mistress. We're gonna call her the mistress, who's the head of people. Is that a because this guy was in a power position? Is that just gender socialization? Why? I want to get your opinion on why she wasn't dragged as much as he was.
That's very surprising because I hadn't even thought about that because typically they blame the woman. They typically
Oh
blame
yeah,
the
home
other
wrecker
woman,
type stuff.
the
Yeah,
home wrecker.
right.
But if you saw that video, them people was in love. I mean, they just wasn't hugged up. They was double arm crossed, sweat.
Hmm. Was
They
enjoying
was
themselves,
yeah.
enjoying
And
each
I
other.
think because what they said he's worth like $1.3 billion.
Sure, sure.
My guy, first of all, you are out here at a public concert, and I didn't realize this, but I, was seeing some of the other things. This is what Coldplay does. They do like a kiss cam thing
Yeah,
as a part of their show.
sure.
So you know what you're going into, and I mean, everybody's seen the video. Them people was hugged up. So why wouldn't Coldplay put them on the screen?
Right. It's a
On
good
the
moment.
screen
It's a
because
good
they
moment
look
to
happy.
capture. Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it goes with the song, it goes with the theme,
Mhm.
and then you're worth 1.3.
Well, so
You
I
could
think
do
that's why he did
better.
it. I think that's why he did it because he's worth $1.3 billion. And like I
Mm.
mentioned, because he cheated on the first wife and got the second one. I think people give
They get
powerful,
power and they don't know how
influential
to
people, well,
yeah,
we give them the benefit of the doubt.
yeah.
We say, "Oh, but he's such a good leader, and oh, he was able to make this company into the thing, the
Mhm.
1 point worth however much it is, and he was able to do this, and they are so influential in this." And my thing is, again, not side note, but kind of uh, uh, related. I don't care who you are in public. If in private you are something else, I don't care. I don't care. But he was such a good leader. I'm like, yeah, but he was cheating on his wife. If you can't take care of house and hold, and the people who that you should be holding in the most regard, and the people you should be holding closest to your heart, if you are treating them any old kind of way, it don't matter how you treat your coworkers or your team or your community or your congregation. It don't matter. I don't care. I don't care if you can score 50 million points in one
Mm.
game. If you in the hotel and you treating old girl any old kind of way, I get it. You a great basketball player, but it's like you got an asterisk on
Yeah.
your name for me. So
And
again,
you know
right,
this. You know that you are a visible person. And
right.
I've seen other people say, even if this wasn't broadcast on the internet, you're at a huge concert in your town, in your city. There are people there who know you and recognize you. Even if they didn't get blasted
Mhm.
on social media, you got to get blasted to with your network of people because you're at these concerts what, like 20,000 people. I think it's at a stadium, so maybe like 20, 30,000 people. What are the odds that
I,
someone or multiple someones know you? Very high, and you're a CEO of a fairly well-known company. It-
so I don't think he cares. Well, let me not say cares. I don't. I think he did the math. I think people like him who are powerful, who are influential, they do the math and they say, I mean, what's the worst they're gonna do to me, right? So if
right.
one or two people find out, you can either ignore it or you can, over influence and power your way through a situation like this, or you can, like we mentioned, you could just disappear for a couple months, come
Mhm.
back and say, oh, I've made peace with myself and I've learned a lot, and then you go back to work. But the fact that we destroyed this dude
Mm.
on social media, there was no way around it. And to make matters worse, this dude, in my opinion, can't come back and do anything else, because we're gonna be like, ain't you that guy? Ain't you the dude? Ain't you that person who? And as a
Yeah.
result, that's gonna follow you for the rest of your life.
And even though and even same with her, even though she's not as well known as him, who is going to hire her to lead their HR organization? Nobody. She's not going to be able to work in HR anymore. Ever.
which is such an oxymoron. How you the head of HR, your main job is to make sure stuff like this don't happen,
Don't happen.
and you the main culprit. Which
You
again,
what? You're a hypocrite because I
right?
know in that company they done had to let somebody go or reprimand them for fraternizing with
Not disclosing their relationships, right? So
right.
again, that leads me to my question again. Why ain't we destroy this lady? We see her face, but the dude is the one that gets all the ire. I'm
I think it's
curious.
because he is so well known and he was so easily identifiable.
Right, right,
It was
right,
harder
right.
to I still don't know that lady's name. But it was easier to find his name, easier to find out who he was than it was her.
Mm-hmm.
And, even to mention you, even now, she's still not really getting dragged like he is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things where normally at this point, people are rabid beasts. They've done all the digging, all the
Mm-hmm.
research, found all the geotags, but still, I mean, I guess she should count her blessings because they're not coming after her like that. But
Yep.
now it's all fun and games. They got, the different sports agency, what is it, the Philadelphia Phillies, they call it a Coldplay cam. And, people are going to events, holding up signs. This is actually my wife and doing all these things. So I think we're in the let's laugh at them and mock them phase. And she may actually skate through this, in the public opinion anyway, or
Right,
public eye,
right. Mhm.
relatively unscathed, unlike him.
And could you imagine I could not imagine. Well, let me not say that. I have a belief that powerful, influential people typically get away with this with their spouses because the spouse knows that this person is powerful and influential and could probably weasel or influence their way out of anything. So the spouse just says, look, just don't embarrass me.
Yeah.
And the exact opposite happens. So this lady, even if the wife and the husband of the lady he was cheating with,
Hmm.
you know, it's like, I may have forgiven you. We could have
We may have
worked
worked through it, went to
right.
counseling or something.
Can't
Not
now
now.
because
Mm-mm. Ain't ain't no going back.
the internet, rightfully or wrongfully, I mean, put these people through the washer.
And I
And
have to say, I hate to see the downfall, but it of anybody. But it was quite entertaining.
it was quite entertaining. I'm not going to lie and say shame on people, because I was laughing and chucking it up. And it's
Because
just
it was
like
funny. The jokes are
every
funny.
every post. I mean, we sure know how to jump on a bandwagon. I tell you
Yeah.
that much. So be
Yeah.
careful. I hope this is a lesson. I hope this is a lesson to CEOs and just old boy down the street.
Powerful people in general.
And just like Tyrone and Shaniqua. It's like, yo, be careful. Be careful, because we got phones, and it just takes that one person with that a big enough platform to say, would y'all look at this? And then you can't, there's nothing, there's no justification, there's no logic, there's no reasoning that this dude could tell us to where it be our bad, because you can't look at
You on the
you
Summer Jam screen, friend.
yep. And
Everybody
we
can get got.
and we
And you, my
and
guy, are living proof of that.
yep, and internet does not forget.
Mm-mm.
All right, so that's enough for the culture. We're gonna move into the hookup, and this is a personal little tip that I use. Like, for example, let's just use an example. I'm on Instagram, and I am typing up a reply, I'm typing up a post or whatever the case may be. You hit send, you notice that there is a misspelled word, or you didn't at the person who you were replying to, you messed
Mhm.
up something, right? With Instagram, you can't copy and paste. You can't copy the text after you've posted it. So my hookup for the week is if you want to copy and paste from like an Instagram, from any sort of website or social media site to where it doesn't allow you to copy and paste, with an iPhone, what you can do is you can screenshot the text,
Mhm.
save it to your photos,
Mhm.
go to the photos icon. And now with these latest iOSs, they can recognize text in pictures, and you can hit the little, I'll call it a note icon that'll pop up in the lower right hand corner.
It's
Once you
like
hit
three
that,
little vertical bars.
yeah, it looks like
I mean,
a piece
horizontal
of,
bars.
yeah, it looks like a piece of paper. You know, that's what it looks like to me. It'll actually identify the text in a picture, and then you can highlight, copy, and paste the text. So that's my hookup. If you are on a website and it doesn't allow you to screenshot something you are not, it doesn't allow you to copy and paste directly.
Mhm.
Here's a workaround to where you can first screenshot it, add it to your camera roll or your photos album, go in, hit the text identifier button is what I'm gonna call it, and then copy and paste the text that way. So that is my hookup for the week, and I think that's going to do it for this week's show. Nika, tell the folks where they can find you.
You can find me at Tech Savvy Diva all over the internet space.
And you can find me all over the internet at Brother Tech. That's BrothaTech. If you want to find the show, learn more about the show, become a follower, please go to snoboscast.com to get all the details. Like I mentioned at the top, if you want to take it a step further and you want to be a Snobist member, now's the time to do that, because after this show, we're going to roll right into our Snobist show where we have a exclusive content specifically for our Patreon subscribers. So you're going to miss out. We're going to talk a little bit more about this Coldplay. We're going to talk about some other things. If you want to check it out, you got to become a Patreon supporter. So please do that. Again, continue to follow, share, support the show. And until next week, we are out. Peace.
Bye, everybody.